This video is an overview of your current event presentation. So now that you have chosen a topic that is a current event, you've used 2 articles about this current event to read and take notes on it. You're going to put your information that you've learned into a presentation. In this assignment, you're going to see there are 3 attachments. The first one is the rubric for this presentation that I will use. It is very similar to the previous presentation rubric that you had in social studies. You'll notice that, just quickly, I'm going to look for, did you have everything that was required? Is all of your information accurate? Does the final product look good, look like 6th grade work? Clarity and relevance means, is your presentation in an order that makes sense and that all of your images are about the current event that you're sharing? Media sources, this is something that I will talk about a little bit later, but you're going to use different types of media in this presentation. It's a multimedia presentation, so you're going to use images, but you might also use maps and videos, links to articles. These are all different types of media. So you want to use at least 3 types of media to get a 4 in this section. Article references means that you need to include the information about the 2 articles that you read and got your information from. This will be the title, the date, and the source of those articles. You can also include the author and a link to the article to earn a 4. And then the presentation part, make sure that you speak loud enough so we can hear you. If you make it into a video, having your picture over on the side will help us to see you and to see your presentation style. The second page just has a couple notes about the social studies standard. So I'm going to go through the rubric. I'll give you a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you'll see that show up on PowerSchool with your social studies grade for this project. The media checklist, this is the one you're really going to want to use when you are making your slides. So this is your checklist. Some people make one slide for most of these checkboxes. You can do that, but you don't have to. You can make this totally your style, but please start with a title page and your name. So what are you going to call your project? Put your name on it. Tell me the title and date and authors, if you'd like, the sources of both of the articles you read. That could all be on one slide, or it could be on 2 separate slides. The rest of this information is going to be both articles together. So I'm not making 2 different presentations. I'm not making 2 separate slides to tell who was involved in the event. I'm going to say, after reading about this situation, these are the people that were involved. This is what happened. And keep going down through the list. And you will include 2 maps. I'll show that in my example in just a minute. And 3 types of media. I've mentioned that before. It does not have to be on a slide by itself. It can be included with your other things. Sources of all information and media, I will show you how to do that as well. The other things on this page are just a reminder about making a clear presentation. Make sure everything's big enough so that we can see it, clear enough so that we will be able to read any words that you have, and that it's all on topic. I go back to the assignment. You're going to see that there is a blank presentation here started for you. I just chose a blank one. You can make it any style you want. Feel free to be very creative with this project. So here's my example that I've been using. I've been talking about the Rockefeller Christmas tree as my example. That's the one I took notes on. I found 2 examples, 2 articles here. This one was from NBC New York. So I've included the title of the article, one of the articles that I read, the source, and the date that it was published. See, this is different from, there's my title page. My title page is just the topic and my name. So this is Article 1, I explain it. This is fine. This one, if I see a little bit more information, will get you from a 3 to a 4 on the rubric. So not only does it have the title of the article, the source, and the date, but it also includes who it's by. Sometimes it's an author's name, sometimes it will just say the Associated Press. And it includes a link to the article. So if I click on this, I will open the article from USA Today. So this situation where it has a little bit more information is a 4. This has the required information, so it would get you a 3. Then I have some slides. So notice this is not specifically about Article 1 or Article 2. This is just what happened with this Rockefeller Christmas tree. So I would have this as one of my slides. I would tell you as I'm presenting a little bit more details here. These are not complete sentences. These are just a few notes for people to look at. Same thing about when it happened, a few notes for people to see. Included another picture there. You can see, I'll have to move it so you can see it, that on this slide I included the source. Where does this picture come from? So one of the things on the checklist said, what are the sources of your images, maps, and things? This image comes from the news article that I use, NBC New York. This is my where did it happen slide that I've started but not finished yet. So far it has one map, and you can see there's a dot here where it happened. It was Oneonta, New York. This is where the Christmas tree came from. This map comes from citydata.com. When I did a Google image search for the city and I looked for maps, this is one of them that came up. I'm going to find a second map. So I have the same search here. I really like this blue map. It shows me the state of New York, so it's a little bit more zoomed in than the last one was. And it shows me where the city is. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my slide. Put it just here. And then I want to tell people the source of this image. If I look at all of these images, it shows me a little picture, it tells me what the picture is called, and it also tells me the website it comes from. You don't need any more information than that for this project, so I'm just going to put oneonta.edu as my source. Text box here next to the picture. And that's the source of that picture. This little extra pieces of information will help you move up and get a few more points on this project, because it really shows that you've paid attention on where your images come from. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is that sometimes we use just this search the web section for pictures and clip art. That is fine. You might just want to include at the end that you've used the Google image search within Google Slides for some of the other pictures. These don't tell you where they're from, which is too bad. So you put the whole thing together. You can record it or share it with us, depending on if you're doing this in person or if you are going to be doing this remotely. Let me know if you have any questions while you're working on your project.